Tokyo Techno-Chaos. In a futuristic Tokyo, where flashing neon lights cast rainbow colors over bustling streets and drones buzzed above people's heads like mechanical birds, the young inventor Riku was working late in his tiny, workshop-like apartment. The walls were covered in screens, wires hung like vines from the ceiling, and there was a faint smell of oil and ramen. "Okay, NanoNeko," Riku mumbled as he adjusted some tiny screws on a small robot that resembled a cute cat. "You're almost done. Just one last test." NanoNeko blinked to life. Its eyes, made up of small LED screens, glowed softly in blue hues. It moved its head like a real cat and let out an electronic meow. "Does your hacking protocol work?" Riku asked eagerly. NanoNeko leapt gracefully off the table, as if it had already mastered all feline behavior. It ran to Riku's fridge, normally locked with a fingerprint scanner. With a quick blink from its eyes and a soft beep, the fridge opened. Riku cheered. "It works. You're a genius, NanoNeko." But NanoNeko had other plans. It stared at Riku's screens and suddenly sent signals into the room. All the screens started flickering, showing strange videos of dancing cats. Riku quickly shut off the power. "Oh no, that wasn't supposed to happen." "You're a little too curious," he sighed, trying to catch the hyperactive robot. At that moment, there was a knock at the door. Riku opened it to see his best friend, Haruto, standing there with a TV under his arm. Haruto was dressed in his usual gamer gear, a hoodie with his favorite esports team logo and headphones hanging around his neck. "Riku, you've got to help me. My TV has gone." "Weird," Haruto said, setting the TV down. The screen turned on by itself, displaying a message, "Welcome to Chaos. Net." NanoNeko, Riku muttered, glancing at the robot, which was innocently cleaning its paw like a real cat. "What's that?" Haruto asked, pointing at the robot. "It's my new invention. But, it's got some issues," Riku admitted. Before Riku could explain further, the TV started showing footage of a giant sushi-making machine wreaking havoc at a nearby restaurant. Sushi rolls were flying through the air like tiny missiles, and people were scrambling to dodge them. "What have you done?" Haruto asked, wide-eyed. "It wasn't on purpose. But I think NanoNeko may have accidentally accessed some systems," Riku said, trying to catch the robot, which was now hiding behind a pile of scrap parts. Suddenly, Aiko appeared in the doorway. She was a young journalist with a sharp tongue and a gaze that could see through any lie. Her camera hung over her shoulder, and she looked determined. "I heard there's chaos in the city again, and I want to know why. Is this your fault, Riku?" she asked. "It's, complicated," Riku replied as NanoNeko peeked out with its glowing eyes. From that moment, things only got crazier. The mega corporation controlling Tokyo's technology discovered NanoNeko and immediately saw its potential as a weapon. Now, Riku, Haruto, and Aiko weren't just fighting chaos, they were up against a corporation that would do anything to get their hands on NanoNeko. And so began a wild chase through Tokyo's futuristic streets, a mix of colorful markets, towering skyscrapers, and underground networks where technology and humanity intertwined. The chaos was only just beginning. As Riku, Haruto, and Aiko tried to solve the chaos NanoNeko had caused, their journey led them to the heart of Tokyo's underground hacker scene. In dark, neon-lit basements, the city's most infamous hackers gathered. Here, they met Yumi, a former software engineer who had gone underground after discovering how her technology was being used for mass surveillance. "So, you made this NanoNeko?" Yumi asked, skeptically eyeing the little robot as it fiddled with an old keyboard. "It was meant to be an experiment," Riku explained. "But, it worked a little too well." "A little too well?" "That's an understatement," Haruto said, still trying to wrap his head around how a robot cat could cause so much chaos. "I might be able to help," Yumi said, pulling out an advanced control panel. "But if we're going to stop this corporation from getting NanoNeko, we'll have to think bigger." Riku looked at Haruto and Aiko. "We don't have a choice. Let's do it." The three friends, along with Yumi, set out to infiltrate the corporation's headquarters, located in one of Tokyo's tallest buildings. With NanoNeko as their secret weapon, they aim not only to stop the corporation's plans but also to restore order to the city. The mission was anything but easy. There were automated defense systems, facial recognition cameras, and guards in advanced exoskeletons. But the biggest challenge was NanoNeko itself. It could hack anything, but it did so in its own mischievous way. "We need to tame it, or we're all in trouble," Aiko said as NanoNeko suddenly started a massive digital fireworks show on the building's screens. "This isn't just a rescue mission," Riku said. "It's also a chance to show that technology doesn't have to be harmful. We can use NanoNeko for good." Finally, after a nerve-wracking battle with the corporation's lead hacker, they managed to regain control of NanoNeko. With Yumi's help, they reprogrammed its protocols, turning it into a true protector of the city rather than a source of chaos. As the sun rose over Tokyo and the chaos began to subside, Riku, Haruto, and Aiko stood atop the skyscraper. "We did it," Riku said with a smile. NanoNeko leapt into his arms and let out one last soft meow. After their victory and NanoNeko's reprogramming, Riku, Haruto, and Aiko realized their journey was only just beginning. They had become local heroes in Tokyo, and the city began rebuilding itself. People in the neighborhood talked about the three young inventors and their brave efforts, but they also gained a new respect for the power of technology and its consequences. Riku began working on new inventions, inspired by what he had learned. NanoNeko, now more of a helpful companion than a source of chaos, helped maintain the neighborhood's electronic systems. Haruto decided to share their adventures with his gaming community, sparking a new wave of interest in technology and hacking. Aiko wrote articles and produced videos about their experiences, and her popularity as a tech journalist skyrocketed. But even though things had calmed down, mysteries and unexpected events still lurked in Tokyo's futuristic streets. One day, Riku received an encrypted message from an unknown sender. The message contained coordinates to a hidden laboratory and a cryptic warning about an even greater threat. Riku, Haruto, and Aiko knew their skills and courage would be tested again. They prepared for their next adventure, ready to protect the city and prove that technology could be a force for good. The chaos might have been over for now, but they were more than ready for whatever the future held. And as the sun rose once more over Tokyo, they knew their story was just the beginning of a series of epic adventures. They had learned that technology's true strength lay in the hands of those who chose to use it with heart and wisdom. With NanoNeko by their side and a shared belief in the future, they could face any challenge. Thus ended Tokyo Techno-Chaos, but the seeds of a new era of innovation and courage were deeply planted in Tokyo's soul. And Riku, Haruto, and Aiko? They were ready for anything.